was shot down in mid-flight. The plane deviated from its intended flight path and crossed into Soviet Union territory. A Soviet Union fighter pilot shot down the flight, which resulted in one of the most tense moments of the Cold War. It resulted in a change in the way that the United States tracks flights to ensure that moments like this wouldn't happen again. Ultimately, this system turned out to what we now know as Global Positioning System, or GPS. Air France Flight 447 was a scheduled flight from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to Paris that crashed into the Atlantic Ocean at 2:14 UTC, killing all 228 passengers, aircrew, and cabin crew aboard. It entered an aerodynamic stall mid-flight that it could not recover from, causing it to lose lift and crash into the Atlantic Ocean. The Brazilian Navy removed the first major piece of debris and 2 bodies from the sea within 5 days of the accident, but the investigations were hard to conduct. The airplane's black boxes were not found on the ocean floor until May 2011, almost 2 years after the incident. The error was caused by a glitch that caused the autopilot to fail. The crew reacted to this glitch incorrectly, causing the stall they could not recover from and resulting in the deadliest accident in the history of Air France. On May 25, 2002, China Airlines Flight 611 from Taiwan to Hong Kong disintegrated mid-flight, causing the plane to lose altitude and crash. It started to fall apart in air about 20 minutes after takeoff, 23 nautical miles northeast of the Penghu Islands. The flight breakup was actually caused by improper repairs made to the aircraft 22 years prior to the flight. It was one of the deadliest flights in Taiwanese history, killing all 225 people on board. Just moments after the takeoff of Flight 191 on May 25, 1979, the plane barrel rolled and crashed into the ground. The left wing's engine malfunctioned, causing it to lift above the right wing and ultimately start rolling out of control. It crashed into an open field in Des Plaines, Illinois. The crash resulted in 273 deaths on board, which included 2 victims on the ground. On August 6, 1997, Korean Air Flight 801 crashed into the U.S. territory of Guam, killing 228 of the 254 passengers on board. The flight was scheduled August 5th through the 6th to take a team of Guamanian athletes to the South Pacific Mini-Games in America, Samoa. When it crashed, the flight was under the command of 42-year-old Captain Park Yong-chul, who was one of the most experienced and capable flyers in the industry. However, due to heavy rain affecting visibility, the plane landed 3 nautical miles short of the landing strip. The flight engineer warned the pilots that the airplane was not in sight, despite beginning a steep descent slope. Eventually, the vessel would fly directly into the mountain, resulting in a crash. Trans World Airlines Flight 800, also known as the TWA Flight 800, was a Boeing 747-100 that exploded in the middle of its flight and crashed into the Atlantic Ocean near East Moriches, New York. It happened on July 17, 1996 at 8:31 p.m., just 12 minutes after takeoff from JFK International Airport. Many believed that the explosion was caused by a terrorist attack that resulted in all 230 people on board dying. A 4-year investigation concluded that the explosion wasn't caused by terrorists, but rather an explosion of flammable fuel, air vapors in the fuel tank that may have been caused by a short circuit. However, conspiracy theories about the flight are pervasive, as many don't believe the inconclusive cause of the crash. LATA Air Flight 004 was an international passenger flight that crashed on May 26, 1991, due to an unintended deployment of a thrust reverse in the middle of the flight. The crash resulted in the death of 213 passengers and 10 onboard crew. The plane's reverse thrusters deployed while traveling over the mountainous jungle area in Thailand. The crew did not take sufficient action when they reacted to a warning that the thrusters had deployed, and the plane fell into a diving left turn. Pan Am Flight 103 was a normal scheduled flight on December 21, 1998, from Frankfurt to Detroit, but during the transatlantic leg of the route, it was destroyed by a bomb and would be known as the Lockerbie bombing. The plane crashed into a residential area of Lockerbie, Scotland, and killing 11 people on the ground, and all 259 people on board, including the crew. A 3-year investigation revealed that 2 Libyan nationals were responsible for the bombing and that it was likely in collaboration with Muammar Gaddafi. The 1996 Air Africa crash occurred on January 8th when an overboarded aircraft from Moscow Airways bound in for Kahimba Airport severely overshot the runway and plowed directly into the nearby street market. 4 out of the 6 onboard crew members survived, but the crash resulted in 225 fatalities and 253 serious injuries on the ground as a result of the plane plowing through. This is the largest number of non-passenger deaths as the result of an airplane crash in history. On March 27, 1977, 2 Boeing 747 passenger jets crashed together on the runway of Tenerife North Airport in Spain. A bomb explosion at Gran Canaria Airport with the threat of a second bomb caused many aircrafts to be diverted to the Tenerife North Airport. 2 of these included the KLM Flight 4805 and Pan Am Flight 1736, which crashed together at the airport when traffic controllers were forced to park several planes on the runway. Then a dense fog formed and combined with everything else resulted in the crash. The total fatalities include 583 and 61 injuries.